Everybody, you're the Dragon here. Today I finally received my package from Knives Ship Free. I just got a brand new Bark River knife, so stay tuned. I'll open it up and check it out.
I'm back now. Time to open it up and see what I got.
I already purchased a extra sheath from DLT Trading, so the sheath is supposed to come with a pocket sheath, and I wanted something a little more compact and small. So here we go. Bark River knives, PSK, 154 cm steel. Okay. Here's the included pocket sheath. I might give it a try, but currently I'm more preferable to this sheath right here. Let's see what we got. Okay, this is the PSK knife. It is in desert ironwood handles because that's my preference. It does have white liners. It's got a little bit of weight behind it. This is in comparison to my current favorite EDC, the Micro Canadian 2, also 154 cm. So this has a 1.775 blade cutting edge. This has a 2-inch cutting edge. Obviously, it's just a hair thicker, not too much, but a little bit. And as far as its depth, it obviously has more depth than the Micro Canadian. Scales are also a little bit thicker, or as far as taller, they're not necessarily thicker. They're both relatively compact. As far as my initial impressions, it seems relatively comfortable in the hand. It's not quite as rounded as the Micro Canadian, but I'll let you guys know in time my thoughts on that. Let's see here. It's a little bit thick for paper, but it's relatively sharp. Let's test it against the tissue paper. Tissue paper tends to be a little bit more difficult to cut. Yeah, a little bit grippy right there right now. Once I polish it up and give it a little stropping on, assuming it'll work a little bit more effectively. So yeah, this is just the kind of preliminaries. I'll do a close-up in a second and hopefully give you guys a little bit more specs and a little more information. So I'll see you in a second. Everybody, I'm back. I didn't have a chance to finish the video last night, so it's been about 24 hours since I've had this knife. So I'll give you a little bit of a closer look. Okay, so here it is. 154 cm steel, white liners. Give it a size comparison. Just have a kind of a quarter here so I can kind of show you the size. It's a 2-inch blade. Now, the big question when it comes to knives is how well does it work? Does it cut well or whatever? So I figured I'd kind of devise a few tests for it and just kind of compare it to my favorite knife, the Micro Canadian 2. And so I figured just kind of show you that and kind of give you my impressions of it. I haven't really had a chance to use it for much else, so here we go. First one should be relatively easy. It would be for food prep. Got a pepper here. As far as that goes, really easy. I figure it's pretty self-explanatory on that. Now comparing that to my Micro Canadian. Let's see, get a little closer here. I'll give it to the camera so it makes it a little bit awkward. Both pretty much cut this very well once you get through that little outer layer of skin. Next I'd talk about like beef jerky. You just kind of press and pull and it separates pretty easily. And so even though it's a little bit thicker than the Micro Canadian, it cuts very easily, cuts very well. Another thing I would do would be cutting something like twine or rope would be something I commonly do. So got a little bit of twine there. See if I can just do a press cut. A little bit of minimum work for that. kind of rock back and forth. Separates really easily. So definitely sharp there. Something also I do often would be at camp. I tend to make fuzz sticks. Definitely not bad there. Sorry if I'm not directly in the camera. I'm trying to look at both at the same time. Kind of compare it to Micro Canadian. As I said, I'm kind of reaching around the camera, so sorry if my technique isn't that great on this. Both of them do not bad. I don't know, it's kind of tough. This one does have a little bit of a cleaner cut, or a little bit thinner, but both of them are more than adequate. And then something a little more robust would be leather. This is just an old belt I had. So relatively smooth, easier cut, not too much, a little bit of friction, but I mean that should be expected comparatively. In this case, I actually think that the Micro Canadian cuts just a little bit smoother. Let me check that again. Yeah, it is just a little bit smoother. Not a lot, but you can definitely feel a little bit more push through with this. But as far as its cuts, you know, definitely clean. Now, the sheath it comes with is this pocket sheath. Pocket sheath itself has the sheath for the knife, and then you have a little bit of extra room if you want to put like a flashlight or something else small in there, like a pen. This is okay. I just don't see myself using it that much. What I end up getting afterwards is the Bushcraft F sheath, and I wet formed it, and then I put a little ball chain necklace around it. For that, just kind of slides in there, holds pretty securely. The ball chain is because I can use it as a neck knife, or I can loop the ball chain through my belt loop and put it in my pocket so it doesn't ever have any possibility of falling out. I definitely like to wet form my sheaths. I find it personally just a little bit more comfortable, gives a little bit more better look for me. So that's just personal preference. I believe they were made by Sharpshooter Sheaths. I'm not sure if they still are, if they went to their other manufacturer. Now, my thoughts on this are, I like the blade profile. It's definitely sharp. It is a little bit thicker than the Micro Canadian, just barely, but I mean, it will make a little bit of difference. This will, the Micro Canadian will probably be a little better slicer. But I like the profile. I like the fact that this can actually be a little bit more robust of a blade. I can do a little bit more. It's only like a little bit longer as far as cutting length though, but a little bit on a knife this small actually makes a big difference. So this little extra 1/4 inch can make a big difference. Now, ergonomics. I actually like the Micro Canadian better. It has a little bit, I mean, the scales are just a little bit thicker, but they're more rounded, and that rounding is definitely important. The little I have been using this knife, if I use a tight grip, it actually feels a little uncomfortable, primarily here and a little bit around my pinky finger. Overall, it's definitely not bad comparatively to other knives. I mean, I would still say Bark River does make the best ergonomics. And I understand why this is so thin. This is thin so you can put it in like an otter box. I believe this one fits in the 2000. But just in general, I'd kind of either like the edges rounded a little bit more and maybe just a little more thickness in the scales. I got it with the liners because I thought that would solve that issue, but it doesn't. I think if I had to use this for a long period of time, I might have a little bit of uncomfortability. Now, the one thing that is better about this is that because it is flat, I do get a good pinch grip on it. But that being said, I would prefer having this type of blade style with this type of scales. This is, out of all my knives, it is actually the most comfortable set of handles I have on all of them. My Bushcraft coming a close second, followed by the Aurora. But this one, every time I hold it, I can't get a hot spot. I honestly believe I can just use this thing for days. And yeah, I really like the way the scales work on this. One last test I would do is something I do commonly would be cardboard. As far as the Micro Canadian, I mean, it works relatively well. Kind of doing this at an awkward angle, so I'm not really giving the knife its justice there. But it does work well. I'll try from this angle, see if it's a little bit easier. I mean, so you can see it cuts through really easily. Micro Canadian, I'll try that this way as well. Doing this at a very weird angle, so apologize for that. It's just kind of just showing you that if you look closely, there's very little. It's cutting, it's not tearing, to kind of show you how sharp it is. And when you look at the cuts, like on the pepper, it's clean. It's not like rough edges at all. So yeah, I've only had it for a short period of time. As I said, I've only had it for about 24 hours. What I'm going to do is, usually this is my everyday carry knife. I carry it with me everywhere. I carry it with me often. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this at home and start carrying this and see in time whether or not this actually does a better job, or whether or not the added blade length and a little bit more depth, the little bit more robust action is worth it for the difference in ergonomics, and whether or not I can actually utilize this for more uses. So as you can tell, I got this from Knife Ship Free. Now this is probably I think it's the second time I've gone through them, and they do a great job. They're very good with their customer service. The post office actually lost my package for almost a week, and Knife Ship Free worked with me every step of the way to make sure that I got my package and ensured that if it didn't show up, that they would take care of it. So I give a lot of shout outs to them. Other people that carry Bark Rivers are DLT Trading and the Knife Connection, which just opened back up on the new site. So yeah, I'd appreciate any questions or comments that you guys have. Let me know your thoughts if you've tried either of these knives and what you think about them. One thing I'll probably do with this one is throw a little lanyard at the end to give me a little more thickness on the scales. I can fold it over and see if that kind of improves the ergonomics for me. So anyways, yeah, thanks again. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys soon.